All right, let's talk about something every project manager has to deal with. Building a team that actually has the right skills for the job right when you need them. How do you take the team you've got and turn it into the high-performing team you need? Let's dive in.
And this quote from the PMBOK guide really just nails it. This isn't some nice-to-have, fluffy HR thing. A skill gap on your team isn't just a small problem, it's a direct threat to your project's success. The stakes? Yeah, they're incredibly high.
So that brings us to the big question, right? It's really a two-part puzzle. First, you have to be able to actually see the gaps, and second, you have to know what to do about them. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
We've got a pretty clear path ahead. We'll start by really understanding the problem, then we'll get into how to assess your team. After that, we'll look at all the tools you have for training, figure out how to pick the best one, and finally, make sure it all actually worked.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the why. Because until you really feel the pain of a competency gap, it's just a buzzword. This is the difference between hitting a deadline and blowing past it. It's the space where all that project risk you're trying to avoid loves to hide.
And you can see the ripple effect right here. A single skill gap is never just one problem. Suddenly, your schedule starts slipping. Then you have to start cutting features to make up for lost time. And before you know it, performance is tanking. It's a vicious cycle, and proactive development is the only way to break it.
All right, so how do you even find these gaps in the first place? This is the assessment phase. I like to think of it like using a compass. You've got to know exactly where you are right now before you can even think about charting a course for where you want to go.
And here's a really important idea. We talk about skills all the time, but what we're really after is competence. It's not just about knowing how to do something, it's about being able to do it under pressure. Within the project's constraints of time and budget. That's the real test.
Now this is a fantastic way to think about it. The Dreyfus model shows that skill isn't just a simple yes or no. You've got your novice who just follows the rules to the letter, then they become an advanced beginner who starts to see a little bit of context. A competent person knows which rule to apply and when, and it just keeps going up from there until you have an expert who basically runs on pure intuition from years of experience. So where do your team members fall on this chart for the skills your project needs?
So how do you figure that out? Well, you've got a whole bunch of tools. For a hard skill, something technical, you might use an ability test. Simple. But for something like leadership or communication, a structured interview or even just direct observation might tell you a whole lot more. The point is to stop guessing and start gathering some actual data.
Okay, so you found a gap. Now what? It's time to open up the toolkit. There are a bunch of different ways you can help your team level up, and trust me, it is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
First up is the one we all know, training. This is your go-to when someone just needs specific information. Think of it like a knowledge download. It could be a formal class on some new software, or it could be as simple as a senior engineer showing a junior one how to solve a tricky bug.
Then you've got coaching. Now this is different. A trainer tells you how to do something. A coach, on the other hand, asks questions to help you figure it out for yourself. It's all about unlocking someone's own potential and helping them get better at solving their own problems.
And finally, there's mentoring. This isn't about one specific task or short-term goal. This is the long game. A mentor is that wise, experienced guide who helps you not just get through this project, but build a real career. They share wisdom you can't get from a textbook.
So let's break it down real simple. Training is when an expert gives you knowledge. Coaching is when a facilitator helps you find your own answers. And mentoring is when an experienced guide shares their wisdom. Three very different tools for three very different situations.
All right, this brings us to the most critical part where the rubber really meets the road. Knowing about training, coaching, and mentoring is great, but picking the right one for your specific need, that's the real skill.
So you're at a crossroads. Does this problem call for a formal class for the whole team? Or maybe some one-on-one mentoring with a senior person would work better? Or is this so specialized you need to bring in an outside consultant? So how do you possibly decide?
This is where you put on your strategist hat. Let's just walk through an example. Say you need someone to learn a new data analysis tool, and the deadline is breathing down your neck. Well, urgency is super high, so a long, slow mentoring relationship is probably out. Cost is also a factor. Your project budget is tight, so a high-priced consultant is a no-go. The skill is very technical, so a targeted online training course starts to look like a pretty good fit. But hang on, what if the skill gap was better client communication? That's an interpersonal skill. A generic online class probably won't cut it. In that case, maybe some one-on-one coaching with someone who's great with clients is the perfect solution. You see? You weigh these factors and the right answer starts to become clear.
But hold on, you are not done yet. After you've invested all that time, money, and effort, you have to ask the most important question of all. Did it work? Measuring the outcome is the only way you'll ever know if you made the right call. And let's not forget the whole reason we're doing this. It's not about collecting training certificates. It's about making the project better. Every single thing we do to develop our team has to tie back to that one goal: better performance and more value. And this is how you know if it paid off. You need to see real, tangible results. Are individuals actually better at their jobs? Is the team working together more smoothly? Are people sticking around instead of leaving? And the ultimate test: are you delivering faster, with higher quality, or at a lower cost? That's when you know your investment was a good one.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Do you see developing your team as a one-time fix when a problem pops up? Or is it something more, an ongoing, powerful investment that makes not just this project better, but every single project that comes after it? Thanks for watching.